folks. It's just after 10 a.m. Central Standard Time on July 8th, 2022. Hope our crew is keeping you well and safe wherever you are in the world. Please make sure to hit that like button and share this across other platforms so that we can let people know what's going on out in our solar system and right here on our planet. Speaking of planet, we're going to start off today looking at our KP index over here on SolarHam. And this right here is our estimated planetary KP index. And as you can see right here, as predicted, this right here is from our solar winds when they arrived. And they come back down, and then this right here is the coronal mass ejection that blended in with it. So we were in event mode for quite some time. Each one of these are 3-hour blocks. So we've got a total of 12 hours of KP5 planetary KP index, and then looks like we've got 1, 2, 3 at 4 KP4, which did put us into a level 1 down here at College Station, which is where I'm at. We actually hit KP6 and then jumped up here into KP7 there for a little bit in the overnight hours. Well, this would be UTC time, so this would be during the day. And this is where we happen to be right now here at College Station in Texas. Yippee-ki-yay. And here we are over here at our real-time solar wind, and we can clearly see that we were in event mode for a good portion of the day yesterday, and it actually carried over into this morning, and then came right back up, got up, our BZ got up into positive 10. Yeah, holy cow, almost a positive 20, and then it flitted around back and forth. Folks, this is from our geomagnetic field being wonky, because usually it doesn't just bounce up like this and slam back down here to negative 10 to be back in event mode and then back. I mean, folks, our geomagnetic field is getting really wonky. I'm not gonna lie, it's not good. Let's take a look at our Ace Mag and Sweep Ham, which is another version of it. And we can clearly see that, yeah, it's saying the same thing. Slam back down here into, man, it looks like it went beyond negative 10. It almost looks like it got down to 15. Which is, folks, that's really weird. I'm going to come over here and take a look at this one here. This is real-time solar wind. This is on Space Weather Prediction Center. I don't use this very often, but it's still a good tool to use. And the reason I don't use it, and this is just a preference, is because of the white background. I prefer the black background. To me, it makes things stand out a little bit easier. But usually when you see this here, this purple overlay, this actually lets you know that there is an event going on. Okay, that's what this is. This is event mode. See, we got another event here when it slammed back down to negative 10 and then came back up and then comes back down here. But once it gets to negative 6, that means we are in that's when we are in an event mode. So you can see the numbers here up on top. See, that's at negative 12. And then it comes up here as soon as it gets down to negative 6. Boink. That's when that's right at the line. Bam! It goes down into the line there. This one here shows we were at negative. This one just says a negative 6, but it looks like it's a little bit further than that. And then over here, right on the line, negative 6. So now that you guys can foresee that, we can tell our pressures are really weird. Our density isn't going too bad. This lets us know our density. Highest peak we got was 3522. Speed has been pretty constant, nothing major. But these are the ones that I like the best because, like I said, it's easier to see the graph in my personal preference and opinion. And as we come over here to spaceweather.com, we're actually going to take a look at this, a crack in the Earth's magnetic field. What did I just say? Yesterday, July 7th, a crack opened in Earth's magnetic field, and it stayed open for nearly 14 hours. Solar wind poured through the gap to fuel a minor, albeit long-lasting G1 class geomagnetic storm. The crack was opened by a co-rotating interaction region, which is kind of weird. I don't know why they call it that, but okay. Which hit Earth's magnetic field during the early hours of July 7th. CIRs are transition zones between fast and slow-moving streams of solar wind. They contain shock waves that often cause geomagnetic storms. NOAA analysts think a CME might have been embedded in the solar wind just ahead of the CIR, thus delivering a double blow. How did they not know that there was a coronal mass ejection coming with this solar wind when I'm over here looking at it and that's exactly what I'm calling out? Maybe I need to get a job application from these guys. Like, how do they not see it and go, oh, there's this and then there's this here, so yep, we're going to get hit with it. How do they not see that? I mean, these are the professionals and I'm over here looking at it and I can tell you. I mean, these are like the paid top guys and I'm just an amateur and I can do that. What in the fragnog? We're going to come over here, folks, with the coronal mass ejection and with those small impacts. We do need to keep an eye on our earthquakes and our volcanic activity. We did have a pretty decent one here. We had a 5.2 right up here, right along the ring of fire. Look how the ring of fire is getting all lit up. Everywhere you go, all along our plates are starting to get lit up. Folks, lots of stuff going on, and the more that we get impacted, the more coronal mass ejections, the more we're going to start having impacts, and we're going to start seeing these things, the tectonic plates, just blast off. So looks like some of these are a little bit older. These are within 48 hours, 4.1. But biggest one is definitely this one up here in Alaska. And looks like down here we had a pretty big one down here, a 5.5 in Chile. Ooh, looks like we have another one right over here near Japan. Naha, Japan, a 5.0. Have another decent 5.2 right over here in Papua New Guinea. Now, folks, one of the other things to keep in mind is that the Richter scale for earthquakes, the 5.2, it's actually a 6.2. They degraded everything by 1 whole point after the founder of the Richter scale died. Literally, in less than 24 hours, they changed the scale and minused everything by 1. So add 1 whole point to all this. And the reason they did that, public panic. They didn't want people to panic. They don't want people to know truth. So keep that in mind. We're taking a look at the European Space Agency, and this here is our inland model from NASA, and NOAA is up here, and neither one of them are up to date as far as showing anything with that coronal mass ejection that came out that we saw last night, that big old prominence and ribbon. So we'll have to just see what happens with it. Take a look at our solar flares, and here are recent solar flare activity. Nothing major going on, just still some more cracks, pops and cracks. Still keeping an eye on, guess what? Still keeping an eye on this sunspot group. It's quite large. However, as you can see, they are starting to spread apart, funny enough, and they have actually decreased down to only beta polarity. So it's starting to calm down, but we do have quite a few sunspots. We'll also be keeping our eyes out for this guy right here. With that being said, eyes open, no fear, and remember that love is the only way forward. Solar Wolf out.